Alrighty, joining me now is the man who will fight in the main event at BFL 71. I can't believe we're at 71 already. It's pretty crazy. But coming up, this fight card was postponed a little bit, but it's now back on the docket on March 10th in Vancouver, British Columbia. He will fight Dario Sinagoga. He is Kyran Cameron. Kyran, thanks for joining me today, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Definitely. Now, I want to go back a little bit. You fought your first fight with Battlefield. I was able to watch it. You caught Keenan Keller in a heel hook. That fight was sort of touted as, enemy territory, a guy coming in against the hometown kid. And you were able to pick up a nice heel hook victory where a lot of people thought Keenan might have the advantage on the ground. What did it feel like coming in? Like you were a guy who fought for BTC in your backyard. What did it feel like coming into enemy territory?
Yeah, it was a bit of a change of pace, like having my four fights leading up to that being pretty much local and being under a promotion that I'm very no, better known in. So it was good to kind of like step outside the comfort zone and go across the country and be on the other side for once.
Did it feel weird to like acclimate yourself to time change and all that kind of stuff, or did you get here early enough?
Um, no, I didn't really find it was too much of an issue for me. I think the fights maybe would have been like a few hours later than I'm used to, fighting back home, but I didn't really notice much of a difference going in.
Now you fought Dejan Kajic for the title in your next fight. Obviously, this guy has a lot of notoriety behind him. He's a multi-division champion. It was a tough outing for you. He's got great striking, great footwork. He understands the game immensely. What do you feel like you picked up out of that fight?
Yeah, just like, they say all the time that you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins, right? Like, you can be on a five-fight win streak like I was and maybe not be looking at the deficiencies that I should have been looking at. So it just made me take a closer look at the areas in which I was lacking and like the little defensive issues I was having. But it was great to like test myself against somebody of that caliber.
Did you think you were going to be able to get another fight in 2021?
Yeah, and that was the idea. I was looking to get one. I actually did have a fight scheduled with Dario. It wasn't a title fight, but he had to pull out due to medical reasons. And then they tried to bring in an American fighter, but due to visa issues, they weren't able to have that fight happen. So I was actually like training for a fight pretty much since my last outing in BFL.
Amazing. Now you have fought. This will be your third fight for BFL. How does it differ from the other promotion that you fought for? I mean, obviously, no slag to BTC because they've brought you to where you are, and Battlefield actually helped them promote when they came out west here. I know you were at that fight card as well, watching some teammates, I believe. But how do the
Yeah.
two promotions differ from each other?
The main difference is the partnership that they have with UFC Fight Pass. In my opinion, that's one of the better ways for people to watch my fights, right? It's a little bit harder to get people to purchase pay per view in the day of streaming services. So it's been a lot easier for people to watch my fights just paying that like $10 a month for the UFC Fight Pass. And I found that a lot more eyes are on me now that I'm on the UFC Fight Pass platform.
Have your like social media followers gone up because of it?
Yeah, I do notice every time I go out there, I get more and more followers after each fight. So it's been interesting to see like what effect that's had on my social media presence.
Now, being a guy from Ontario, you come out here west. Have you thought about training outside of Ontario, like maybe coming out here a few weeks prior to a fight in order to get some training in out here, or are you just stationed in Ontario, coming out fight week, getting the game done?
Yeah, I've been out to Vancouver like quite a few times since I started fighting with BFL, and I'm like say this the same thing to myself every time that like I could really see myself living out there. Like it's a really nice place. Like it's so amazing, especially in the summertime. Um, it's like pretty much the only thing really keeping me in Ontario is like my team and having them all here, right? So, but if they were looking to move out west, that's definitely something I would consider. It would be cool to go out and get some training in on the West Coast as well. But it's been like all right, just going fight week, and I have been finding myself extending my fight trips a little bit just to kind of like sightsee and do the touristy stuff.
What have you seen here that was cool the last time you came, I guess?
Just like the outdoors, really, it's like climbing the mountains. We were
Yeah.
climbing the Chief. That was an amazing experience, and just had a house out in Belcara that we were renting for the weekend. It was just an amazing experience and a great experience with my teammates out there.
Nice. Now, BFL 71, as I said, main event against Dario Sinagoga. You said you had a fight lined up with him, so obviously you've been training for this guy. You see what he brings to the game. Do you see any holes in his game that you can exploit? Obviously, you don't want to give away your game plan or anything like that, but what strengths do you feel like you have over him?
Yeah, like I just feel like I have the cleaner striking between us two. He's a tough guy. He's gonna bring the fight to me, but I think that I'm just a more cleaner striker, and I believe that I have the more dangerous submission ability between the two of us. So I think it's going to be a good fight stylistically for me, and it's going to be a very exciting matchup for the fans watching.
We know he's a grinder. We've seen him put his nose to the cage and basically just grind out victories when he hasn't been able to get the finish. He's a guy known for his tenacity and obviously his cardio. This is the main event. Is this your first 5 round fight?
Yeah, the previous fight that I had against Dan would have been slated for a 5 round
Of course,
fight,
yeah.
and this one as well, right? So this is my first main event. Last one was a co-main event, but I have been training for a 5 round fight since my last camp, right? So I've been really working the cardio and getting 5 rounds in of sparring, like hard sparring, pretty much every session.
I noticed in an interview that you did with Jay at Battlefield, he asked about takedowns and Dario's wrestling takedown ability. He said he noticed that Dario gets taken down easy. Is this something that you've noticed as well?
Yeah, it is something that was apparent, especially in his last outing against Zach Powell, which is one of my teammates in Niagara Top Team. So it's definitely something that I could be looking to exploit. I'm not going to drop any
No.
secrets, but it may be something that I'll be looking for in the fight.
Well, you said you feel like your striking is better, so there's no point in taking there unless you have to, I guess. But talking about that last fight, I guess against Zach Powell, everyone in attendance was sort of scratching their heads. How did you score that fight?
I mean, it seemed like he controlled the fight from start to finish. For me, I pretty much saw the same thing everyone else did, right? It's one of those ones I don't think he's walking away from that one thinking that he won that fight. So I know that he's going to be coming into this fight against me with something to prove, right? Like you can't walk away from a performance like that and like hold your head high, right? He got lucky that night. I'm pretty sure he knows that, and yeah, it's going to be pretty much a redemption fight for both of us.
Now, you said that your striking is better, your submission game is better, you've trained for 5 full rounds. How do you see yourself getting the victory in this fight? You said you don't want to give anything away, but in your dreams, if you were to look in a crystal ball at your perfect victory format, what would it be? In a dream world.
I see myself hurting him. I see myself hurting him early. If you look at my previous fights, I don't think any of like my last 5 fights haven't gone past the first round. I see myself hurting him early and putting him away, like TKO victory in the first few rounds.
Amazing. Now, the last question I want to ask you is, you said earlier that the biggest thing is being on UFC Fight Pass. Obviously, the notoriety is there for that. This fight, if you get the victory, you get that strap around your waist. Do you feel like a victory in this fight, being at 6-1, will get you that notoriety? Being on UFC Fight Pass, being that it is a title fight, do you think that this will get you to the next level, or you think that you'd want to defend the strap once before moving forward? Obviously, the goal is to get, say Contender Series or a late replacement UFC fight or something like that. But
Yep.
would you like more before you go there?
I think I'm knocking at the door of UFC or one of the bigger organizations, right? So I think if I have a good performance and I perform at my best come March 10th, then I will get that call. And if not, then just one more fight, two more fights, I'll be there for sure. I know I'm coming off a loss in my previous fight, so I'm gonna need a good outing this time around to get that call. If not, I see myself definitely mid end 2022. I'll be there.
That's the attitude to have, man. You know, you hear a lot of guys, and it's no slag on them at all. Is they want to get there, they want to get to the show, and sometimes we see guys get there a little too early. I like to hear that. You know, maybe I won't get there. Maybe mid 2022, late 2022, I will get there. But I like that you're ready. You feel like you're just knocking on the door. Sometimes guys try to get there before that door opens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, man, I really appreciate your time. Can't wait to see you in there next Thursday night, March 10th, downtown Vancouver in Olympic Village, BFL 71. Kyran Cameron, if you have any shout outs, any sponsors you want to give thanks to, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, just shout out my gym, Aegis MMA. You can follow me on Instagram at Kyran MMA, and you can see all my sponsors there.
Amazing, man. Good luck.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.